Hey friends, I hope you're having a great week. Today we are back with Paying Off Student Loans Part 2. Last week, we kicked off our teacher budgeting series with student loan forgiveness programs. Today, though, we're going to be talking about paying off those loans with your cold, hard cash, aka your new paycheck. Before we dive into today's episode, I have a few housekeeping announcements. First things first, happy Teacher Appreciation Week to you! Whether you're already in the classroom or not, I hope you felt the love this week through a kind note, an email, or even through my love language, food. In all realness, though, teaching is hard and you deserve all the love in the world. So please know I'm sending my love to you all the way from North Dakota. Because it's Teacher Appreciation Week, I wanted to show my appreciation for all of you by doing a few special giveaways this week. Because who doesn't love a giveaway? If you head on over to my Instagram at North Dakota Teaching, you can enter to win one of 4 Starbucks gift cards, a book, plus a free spot in our summer book club, and even one of 3 30-minute one-on-one coaching calls with me. Typically, people pay $35 for a 30-minute coaching call with me, but sis, you won't pay a penny. During these calls, we can talk about anything from interview prep, classroom layout and organization, lesson planning, testing data, whatever, you name it, I'm there. If you're like, yep, I need one of those, head on over to Instagram and enter. What do you have to lose? Okay, one last thing, and then we'll get on with the show. You all know the Blossoming Teacher course is the bee's knees, but when I launched in March, many people said that they wanted to finish school before diving in, which I totally get. Since it's Teacher Appreciation Week, I have a special coupon code just for you. When you use the coupon code APPRECIATE at checkout, you will receive 15% off the Blossoming Teacher course. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to be raising the price this summer, so you really never will see the Blossoming Teacher course for this price again. If you're like, yep, I'm ready to blossom into the teacher that I was born to be, head to ndteaching.com/appreciate and the coupon code will automatically be applied.
Welcome to the North Dakota Teaching Podcast. Whether you're a first-year teacher, veteran teacher, or just a mom trying to gain some new insights, you are right where you are meant to be. Kayla Durkin, founder of the Blossoming Teacher course, is passionate about helping new teachers blossom into the teacher they were born to be. Kayla wants to help inspire teachers to be their best self, whether that means sharing about personal or professional development, self-care, or the latest and most effective teaching strategies. Through this podcast, you will hear from real teachers sharing their stories about teaching, all with one main goal in mind: to be able to make an impact and help other teachers blossom. And with that, here is your host, Kayla Durkin.
Okay, friends, just like I said last week, due to the request of me sharing real numbers, that's what I'm going to do today. Remember, I say this in the most humble way I can. All journeys are different. This just so happens to be the journey that I was on, and it's more than okay if your journey looks different than mine does. So let's take it back to September of 2015. I was a first-year teacher teaching 4th grade, just loving my new life, and I was so excited for my first real adult paycheck. Yes, for the money, because #bills, but also just because getting that first paycheck is like, hey, look, Ma, I made it. When that day rolled around and that paycheck hit my bank account, let's just say, well, drum roll please, that paycheck was $1,010.25. I think I laughed out loud when I saw it hit my bank account. Honestly, that summer I was making more as a waitress than I was as a teacher. Luckily, we got paid twice a month, so I was making $2,020.50 after taxes, retirement, being in the teacher union, and so on. But still, 2,000 smackaroonies, 2,000 doll hairs to pay my rent, my student loans, buy groceries, have a social life, and still attempt to save for the future. Now, yes, $2,000 is a ton of money, and I will forever be grateful for how blessed I am to have a degree and a job that supports a stable lifestyle. But at the same time, I was really worried that it would be cutting it close. I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure my starting salary was $36,000, and with that, I was paid on a 12-month salary schedule, meaning my first paycheck arrived in September and my last paycheck for the year came in August. I was also paid twice a month, which meant I was actually getting paid 24 times during the school year. So there are a few different directions I could take this podcast in today, but first things first, we need to talk about a lingering question that I've been asked again and again. How do you know how many months a paycheck will be split into? Well, honestly, I don't. The thing is, some schools spread it over a 9-month contract, some over the 12 months so that you'll be paid through the summer. Whereas others split your pay into 12-month increments, but they pay you for each of the first 9 months, and then on month 10, you'll get a lump sum for 10, 11, and 12. Interestingly enough, some schools are very firm in one way or the other, whereas other schools let you decide. For me personally, I think 12 months is the way to go because then you don't have to worry about not having a paycheck over the summer. But some people just like having access to all of their money right away. It's definitely a personal preference. Just for some insight, I did put a poll out on my Instagram asking for people to share their state and pay schedule, and around 85% of people said that they get paid for 12 months. The states where people said 9 months were New Jersey, North Dakota, California, Ohio, North Carolina, Illinois, Maryland, and Wisconsin. However, there were also people from those same states who said 12 months, so it really is a school or district preference. What I do want to say though, teachers, is that if you have the option to stretch your paycheck out over 12 months, take it. I know many of us plan on working over the summer. Me personally, I've always worked over the summer, which has always been a nice little bonus. But if something comes up and you can't work over the summer, it will be comforting to know that you still have a consistent paycheck coming in during those months. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, many of you probably caught on when I said that during my first year my salary was $36,000, but I was only getting paid $2,020.50 a month, which equals $24,246. So yeah, that's nearly $12,000 less, which is another big lesson, kids. Once you start making those buco bucks, in addition to taking money out for taxes and Medicare, they also take money out for retirement and anything else that you might have to pay in for, such as if you choose to join the teacher union or have to pay a portion of your medical insurance. Luckily, the school that I worked for covered a single medical plan, so I wasn't paying in for that. But if you have kids or if you're married and you're taking on the insurance, you might have to pay in more than you expect. On average, you should plan on your paycheck being at least 25% less than what your salary is. If it doesn't end up being 25%, then that's just a little lucky bonus for you. But I like to plan wisely, so I would say plan for your take-home pay to be at least 25, if not 30% of your annual salary. Now, whether you've signed a contract for your upcoming year or not, if you've already verbally agreed to a job, we can start planning your budget now. Typically speaking, you can almost always find a salary schedule, also known as your annual pay for a school district, online. If a school is going through a negotiation year, they might not have the most up-to-date salary schedule posted, but you can always base your numbers off of last year's salary. And then again, if it's just a little bit more, that's just a bonus for you. Okay, now class, I really hope you're listening because here's the first portion of your assignment today. Step 1, you need to find your annual salary for the school or district that you're going to be working for. Step 2, take that annual salary and multiply it by 0.75 or 75 hundredths for all my math peeps. This is going to be a rough estimate of your actual take-home annual salary. If you want to be really conservative, multiply that annual salary by 0.70, which is 70% of your annual salary. And then step 3, divide that number by 12. Even if you're going to be getting paid over a 9-month period, it's really important for us to know how much you need to live off of so that you'll have money left over to get by during those summer months when you're not getting paid. The number you have now is going to be the number that you use to set your monthly budget. If budgeting is intimidating, I got you. I made you a very simplistic template that you can grab for free just for being a listener. This becomes part 2 of your homework. You are going to head to ndteaching.com/budget to snag this template, and then you're going to start typing in your monthly expenses. Rent, car payment, cell phone bill, gas, internet, groceries, lunch money, going out to eat. You get the point. Sometimes it's hard to remember all of our monthly expenses, especially those dang subscriptions, so it might be helpful to pull up your debit or credit card statement just to be sure you're not missing anything. It might only seem like $5 or $7 here or there, but they really do add up quickly. So pulling up that credit card statement, you can also kind of figure out how much on average you spend going out to eat, how much on average you spend on clothes, or you spend at Target buying necessities, you spend on prescriptions, whatever it is. You will want to put all of those things into our template, and lucky for you, I even put a formula into this sheet so that it's automatically going to total all of your expenses for you. Now, I don't want you to go crazy above and beyond, but also consider budgeting in a little bit of fun money just in case you spend a little bit of extra money on something, if you want to go out for happy hour with your coworkers, if you have a wedding coming up and you need a new dress or a new outfit. It is important to have just a little bit of a buffer in there so that you don't always go over your budget every single month when things come up. Remember though, we do want to keep the total sum of your expenses less than your take-home pay. And if it's not going to be less than your take-home pay, then we really do need to reevaluate your spending habits and see where you can cut things out. Maybe you need to cut down on going out to eat. Maybe you need to cut down on the amount of money you spend on clothes. Maybe you're paying for 3 different music subscriptions and you can cut it down to one. Maybe you are paying for Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and all of those other things, and maybe we can cut out one of those. Just finding little things that you don't have to pay for, it's going to make a big difference for you. Anyway, once you have the difference of your take-home pay versus your monthly expenses, this is going to be the money that we want to use to pay off those student loans so that you can save for the future. Remember last week when I said I had $21,000 worth of student loans and I had $5,500 forgiven, which meant that I had $15,500 worth of loans that I had to pay off? Well, after finding my monthly expenses, for me, it was more important for me to pay off my student loans than it was to start any new loans. I absolutely do not want to offend anyone when I say this, but do not go out and blow your first big kid paycheck. If you want to treat yourself to something small, such as a new pair of jeans or sunglasses, by all means, feel free. You've definitely earned it after 4 years of working hard, but please, please do not go out and buy yourself a new set of wheels. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. Actually, let's focus on 2 things: creating a savings and emergency fund, and then getting those loans paid off. If it's too late, if you already have a car payment and a couple of other loans out there, don't worry about it, but just know we do want to get those paid off and we don't want to be paying them forever. If you already have money in savings, money that you could use if an emergency came up, that is so awesome, and I want you to leave it in there. You're a big kid and big kid emergencies happen. At the very, very, very minimum, I want you to start by having at least $1,000 in a savings account that you are not going to touch. Like ever. Like you're not going to touch it ever unless there is an actual emergency. And no, a huge sale on your favorite brand or a trip with the girls is not an emergency. After you get that savings account established, any extra money we have should be thrown at those loans. If you have multiple loans, start on your smallest loan so that you can snowball it and get that one paid off the quickest. If you only have one student loan, then any extra money you have, you need to start putting it towards that loan. I knew I could comfortably pay my bills and put a few extra hundred in savings plus 500 towards my student loans each month because I wasn't blowing my money on things that I didn't need. I had about $1,200 worth of expenses every month, meaning I had $800 a month that I could save and I could put towards my loan. So what I'm saying is, yes, even though my student loan payment only required me to pay like $80 a month, I chose to pay extra. At $80 a month, not only would the interest have killed me, but it would have taken me like 20 years to get that loan paid off. Instead, I paid it off in 3 years and it seriously just felt so good to get it done. By putting $500 a month towards my student loans, I was actually paying an extra $420-ish a month extra, and that made a huge difference. Instead of only having around $1,000 paid off by the end of the year, I had close to $6,000 paid off by the end of the year. Will $500 a month be realistic for everyone? Absolutely not. Do some people already have a car payment and other payments that their money has to go towards? Absolutely. Every single person's journey is different. Once you have a budget though, you'll know where you can start saving some money. You'll know where you can start cutting things out, maybe going out to eat a couple less times a month. There are just little changes that you can make, and instead of spending $50 going out to eat and getting a couple drinks and whatever it is, put that extra $50 towards your student loans, towards your car loan, whatever it is. Just get those things paid off. Now, I know you have a lot of work to get going on, but there's one last piece of advice that I want to give you before you go. If possible, look into refinancing your student loans if your student loans have a high interest rate. Interest rates are pretty crazy low right now, so instead of paying around 9% in interest on your loan or 6% or whatever it is, see if you can refinance for a lower rate so that you won't have to pay as much in the long run. There is one thing to mention though before you refinance. If you already have started looking into those loan forgiveness programs from last week, be sure to read the fine print. Some loan forgiveness programs will not forgive loans that have been refinanced. I can't say for certain which ones, but just know it's definitely something you'll also have to look into. Alrighty, I know you have some work to do and I'm going to let you get to it, but I do just want to remind you, if you're hoping to invest in yourself, to put your money towards something that will only help you grow as a person and an educator, where you can hop on a call each month and chat, where you will receive support and encouragement and be totally ready for your first year of teaching, the choice has already been made. You're already officially ready for the next step, and I can't wait to welcome you into the Blossoming Teacher course. When you use the code APPRECIATE, you'll receive 15% off and you will become a lifetime member. It's as easy as typing in ndteaching.com/appreciate and you will be on your way to a lifetime of support and encouragement as you navigate your newfound journey as an educator. I absolutely cannot wait to watch you blossom into the teacher that you were born to be.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the North Dakota Teaching Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate that effort. Be sure to tune in to the next episode for more teaching tips to make an impact. Until next time.